All right, it's a beautiful Friday afternoon, downtown Rhinebeck. Dr. Donald Krawitt. Joel Tyner, your man on the street reporter. Now, Donald, what's your story? What's this certificate you have here?
Well, I have here a certificate of my military service. We're jumping ahead. I was born in Brooklyn on March 17th, 1923. I went to Boys High School and to the University of Louisville in Kentucky because of my mother's family living in Kentucky. After being a student in Louisville, I was drafted into the service, served my time in the service, and was discharged with an honorary discharge. I decided that I've always wanted to go to medical school, and therefore I was told that I had an opportunity of going to Switzerland to University of Geneva to do my MD, which I did. Then this was successful. I returned to the States, passed my boards, etc. I became, after that, a diplomat of the American Board of Urology and a fellow of the American College of Surgeons.
And you actually taught, you did a video on urology that was basically used the whole world over.
Yes, while I was a young practicing urologist and teacher at Mount Sinai Hospital, I decided that it would be easier in my teaching process if I made a motion picture on how the prostatectomy should be done. In this way, instead of showing still photos to the young residents, if I could show them an entire transurethral prostatectomy, they would know exactly how it was done. And so I did. I traveled to Europe, learned to use a certain camera for the photography, and I attached the camera to the cystoscope, which is like a telescope that looked into the bladder. After attaching the cystoscope to the camera, I made it so that while I was photographing, I could take pictures of the actual surgery by using the electric pedals on the floor, which was demonstrated in the motion picture of precisely how this operation should be done and how to obtain the best results.
And that was used all over. And then how many years did you work in state prisons as a urologist here in New York State?
Well, before I went there, I took this motion picture practically all over the world, showing it, demonstrating it all over Europe, South America. And I'm sorry, what was your question there?
Well, doing the prostate, but then how many years did you work in prisons here in New York State?
Oh, I worked for the Department of Corrections, taking care of 6 maximum security prisons for 8 years. I didn't apply for this. This was applied, this was presented to me by one of the inspectors for the Department of Health, who asked me if I would be interested in doing this type of work.
And did they ever say, hey, you got to fill out this paperwork if you want pension?
Never. They never spoke about pensions. They never spoke about orientation. They never spoke to me about anything except go to the hospital and do the work.
And so what was that? You said 11 years as a urologist in state prisons?
8 years.
8 years. And then so you tried to get, can you hold that up?
Yes.
So what happened here?
Well, I went to see the state controller, DiNapoli, and spoke to him about...
You talked to him personally?
No, I never could speak to him. But I applied, I was told, after I was laid off by the state without any rhyme or reason, I applied for a unemployment pension. The unemployment was given to me only on the basis of the fact that I was an employee. So the New York State Department of Labor made very in-depth investigations into the kind of work that I was doing in my background, and finally they said, you were not a dependent, you were not an
independent contractor.
You were an employee.
And hold up, and the feds agreed, right? The IRS agreed.
Yes, they did. Then I contacted the IRS.
Hold on, I just want to point it out where it says the worker shall be found to be an employee for federal tax purposes. So the IRS said, the IRS agreed with New York State, but unfortunately, what happened after after you went to court? Let's turn the page. How many times did you have to go to court? What happened?
I went to Supreme Court and appellate divisions, and I went to all the courts that were really obstacles in the way, and I was never given any chance of making progress. I was spinning my wheels. No one wanted to consider the fact that I had been an employee designated by the Department of Labor, New York State, and the IRS. And here I am now. I have
You're 93.
Yes, 93.
And they've denied you your pension. 8 years working in prisons. You're a veteran. Served, what do you say, Army, Merchant Marine?
Yeah, Army and part of the Merchant Marine.
And which war again?
World War II.
And they won't give you your pension.
And they won't give me my pension.
What are we going to do about this, Donald?
Well, I'll do.
Are we going to roll over and play dead?
We absolutely will not. I've come too far for this. And I'm going to fight this thing to the very end. They would like to see me go before anything occurs, but I will not allow them to win. I am going to continue to explore every avenue until I demonstrate the fact that I am deserving.
And just so you folks out there know, I think Dr. Donald Krawitt here from Rhinebeck may have a few powerful friends, not just Jolly Joel, but who did you sit down and talk with this morning?
Oh, I spoke with Stuart Shinsky.
Stuart Shinsky.
Yes.
He's the publisher, editor of the Poughkeepsie Journal.
That's right.
And did he say maybe there might be some coverage?
Yes, he said, don't give up, keep on working, and he was doing his own investigation.
All right, so let's get to the chase. If you want to get involved and help Donald, I don't know if Donald wants to give out his home number. You don't have to do that. You can call me, 464-2245. That's 464-2245. And guess what? The number to reach for the New York State and local retirement system, 866-805-0990 or 518-402-4433. My good friend Kyle, who works for Tom DiNapoli in the New York State Comptroller's office, he's going to get a little call from me. And we're going to do this. Are we going to rest until there's justice, Donald?
No, we're going to have justice, and justice we hope will
put your fist up in the air.
Will be my way.
Or the highway.
I've worked too hard for this. I've got to have self-respect. And this is where I'm going to do. I'm going to fight this to the very, very end.